I don't know what's more confusing, learning astrology or just being a human. Moonday Musings is here to help with that. A weekly, no bullshit guide for the upcoming cosmic forecast and how you can actually use this in your real life. Hello, my friend. Happy Monday, happy Moonday, happy full moon day. And welcome to another episode of Moonday Musings. If this is your first time here before, let me just be the first to welcome you here to our cozy little witchy neighborhood. I'm Danny. I'm that witch next door. I will be your cosmic guide, your host, your mentor, your spiritual bestie in all things modern witchcraft and cosmic living. This week's Moonday Musings episode is our Astro news highlights and our card pull for the week. And our main highlight this week is this big, bright full moon in Scorpio that is happening today. Monday, May 12th is our full moon exact at 12:55 p.m. Eastern Time, taking place at 22 degrees Scorpio, with our sun in Taurus at 22 degrees. Our full moon portal opened up on Saturday the 10th, just a couple of days ago. That would be about Saturday afternoon, 3:58 p.m. Eastern Time, when the moon moved into Scorpio, activated and opened up this full moon portal, which will be open until the early hours of tomorrow morning. Again, taking your time zone into consideration, of course. But the moon will move into Sagittarius tomorrow, Tuesday, May 13th at 4:34 a.m. Eastern Time, closing our full moon in Scorpio portal. So this full moon has already a lot of fire energy kind of very naturally associated with it every year, because full moon in Scorpio takes place during Taurus season. Taurus season brings us Beltane in the Northern Hemisphere. And this is the mark of the beginning of summer. This window of time, this bridge, this portal and transition from spring into summer. Okay? That's really ultimately what Beltane is, and Taurus season in so many ways is. Taurus season is this bridge from spring, walking us into summer. And when we have summer solstice, now some of us look at this as summer solstice being the beginning of summer. In a lot of cultures, May Day, Beltane marks the beginning or the beginnings or the transition itself, okay? Moving from spring into summer. Don't let yourself get too hung up on technicalities. And remember that our planetary seasons, our celestial seasons, and our seasonal seasons, right? Our seasonal chapters here on Earth, our weather seasons and climate seasons. All of these are these periods of time with fuzzy edges on both sides. These are transitions into and out of. Try not to think of them so much as like really hard lines, and look at celebrations like Beltane, full moons, exact transits that we talk about. Think of these more as peak periods of energy more than these hard lines that mark some sort of exact thing taking place at that moment. Instead, it's much more of a building toward a peak of energy and then kind of this just natural disseminating from that peak of energy. It's these markers of transitions. So full moon in Scorpio already has a lot of fire associated with it because of this transition from spring into summer energy, Beltane and Beltane's fire, and sun and solar fire is all very, very prominent this time of year. And then on top of that, Scorpio is traditionally ruled by Mars, a fire planet. And Scorpio, you bet your ass, very much has its own type of fiery energy. Scorpio's fire water or water fire, whatever you want to call it. Hot water, maybe boiling water, steam even. Scorpio has a lot of fire association with it, though it is at its core, yes, a water sign. So we kind of get heat and fire and flames from a million different directions and from a million different layers right now. And on top of all of this, which is just, these are very general, generic themes of this season and this time of year, you add this particular full moon chart and its astrology, this specific full moon in Scorpio 2025, you bring this chart of astrology into the conversation and we really amp up the fire conversation. We really amp up the fire topic within the conversation. We have we've got quite a few planets in Aries and planets getting ready to also finish their cycle in Pisces and enter Aries. So there is a lot of emphasis on this high emotional, intense emotional energy because water and fire are two elements that are very, very prominent right now. And I think that it's really this beautiful infinity of Mother Earth, Gaia, that Taurus connects us to, that helps us hold space for all of this heat. So for this full moon, I want you to take some time to, even if it's 3 minutes out of your day, I want you to you could do that right now, actually. You could, if you need something to prompt you and to hold you accountable, you could pause this right now and take 3 minutes to breathe through intensity. Any that you're naturally feeling, any intensity you've witnessed, any intensity that you're just sensing or picking up on. And if you're not necessarily feeling that, take some time to intentionally breathe in the essence of fire. Kind of let yourself channel some intensity. You can visualize like roaring flames. And as you breathe, maybe let yourself naturally feel the heat from those flames rising and spreading within you. Take some time to just sit in intensity and breathe through it. Here's my purpose and intention behind this insight. Intensity is one of those experiences that no matter how many times we have been faced with it, it feels like we can't possibly face it again. There's something about it that we resist. And so creating a safe space, an intentional space to purposefully kind of sit in intensity you're already naturally, that's been kind of brewing in you that you've been trying to avoid or you've been trying to dissipate. Let yourself just breathe in it. Just be present in it. Or again, if you're not necessarily naturally feeling it, let yourself intentionally call upon that sensation and bring it up within you as lucid and as palpable and as tangible as you can. And then you can visualize maybe water pouring over the flames. Maybe you envision a big, cool, beautiful earth blanket that covers and snuffs out all the flames, and you just see the smoke and the steam rising afterward. Maybe you just see the flames die down. Maybe you concentrate all of them in your mind and condense them down into a single candle flame that you visualize and blow it out and let this be either a movement and an intention of blowing something away from you and release, or sending your wishes and your intentions to the universe and your spirits. But give yourself some intentional space to not run from or avoid intensity and just be in it and experience it. You will very likely experience some sort of creative byproduct from this. This is a time of year and a season so strongly indicative of and representative of creativity, inspiration, new beginnings, new ideas, all of creation. Anything that has to do with the word creation or to create something. So symbolic of this time of year and this energy right now. So much so that it's often beyond our words. And Scorpio is so much more drawn to and inclined to just feel and somatically experience more than verbally express. And this is a full moon for kind of calling on similar themes that we do around Samhain, for example. I'm thinking of like our dumb dinner, for example, where we set a table with plates or offerings or a spot, some sort of intentional space to invite and welcome our dead or our past beloved to sit and commune with us in a meal. And during that meal, you say nothing. This is an old ritual that has inspired some modern ways of honoring and celebrating Samhain. And we can really draw on that for inspiration for full moon and Scorpio, especially because we're getting ready to enter into Gemini season very soon, my friends. The chitter chatter is coming. There is going to be plenty to think and say and speak and interact with and communicate with and express through our words and through our air element. And full moon in Scorpio, deep in the heart of Taurus season, deep in the belly of so much fire energy, so much natural intensity. One of the best ways you can experience this is by letting yourself go really, really silent and simply be and observe and follow what you're naturally guided to do. This is an excellent week for keeping your eyes open and paying attention to the symbols and signs that the universe is offering you. Take them, write them down, speak them to an open-minded spiritual friend. If you're in that witch school, post about that in our student lounge, the signs and the symbols or the numbers or these feelings you've been getting, or maybe there's been a smell that's been coming to you over and over again, or a song that keeps getting stuck in your head. Pay attention to them, write them down, talk about them with somebody, share them. listen to those stories of others right now. That's a wonderful way to honor silence, is by listening. That can be listening to your spirit guides in the universe, and that can be listening to others around you. This is a very, very profound full moon. It's not an eclipse. There's always a way to look at every full moon, but especially full moon in Scorpio. There's always a way to look at this in a really dark, doomy, negative way. And I'm not sure exactly what you'll hear about this full moon in other astrological circles this week. But here I invite you to create even just 3 minutes of silent, intentional presence and being with intensity, being with intense fire and intense emotion, letting yourself channel that and breathe in it and through it. Let yourself visualize it closing or dissipating, like I said. And then let yourself move forward from that space, staying as open as you can to the messages from the universe. Because again, inspiration is such a natural byproduct of letting yourself really align with and be present in such creative energy that fire is and that water is, and that they really bring together amidst this beautiful overarching earth season of Taurus season. And I strongly, strongly feel this beautiful sacred preparation work we're doing almost. Getting ready to head mindfully into Gemini season, where again, the volume and the chatter and the interaction is going to naturally be turned up. So I'm just feeling this full moon on such a deep, deep spiritual level, if you can't tell. I would love to just directly channel this into our card reading and see what our cards have to say and offer us this week in response to and in support of our full moon in Scorpio. So take a moment to take a couple of really intentional deep breaths here. Fill yourself up with refreshing, natural rejuvenation from the universe. Exhale any excess and anything that you're just really not needing right now in this moment. And when you're ready, you can open yourself up to any guidance, any insight, any messages that you may be needing or seeking at this time. Okay, my friend, I kind of see why we're avoiding some intensity right now. We're having some deep fears come up. There's some deep, almost, I would say, kind of guilt and regret coming up right now. I pulled the 5 of Swords, the 10 of Cups reversed, and Knight of Pentacles reversed. We'll go into our Spirit Allies Oracle card in just a moment. And if you are subscribed to my email list, you are able to see the imagery of this reading as well. But this is this is definitely lending itself to some intensity, that's for sure. 5 of Swords is really bringing in this major, major conflict. Fight, battle, might even feel like war, competition, some sort of confrontation, anything of these natures that especially has felt like it has just gotten out of hand. This can be a current issue and scenario for some of us. But for others of us, I am getting this really, really, really strong indicator, just like right at the top of my gut, that this is potentially a past situation that there's a lot of deep inner regret about. And that's where this reversed 10 of Cups and reverse Knight of Pentacles is coming through, which is reading deep fears and guilt, and strong insecurity, feeling really, really insecure with oneself and how the journey was handled. And it really feels like this is something happening within a lot of us. For some of us, for sure, this is going to be something that someone witnessed and someone outside of themselves. But for a lot of us, this is coming through me so strong right now that this is very strongly related to some sort of past event, past experience that you never quite felt all the way right about. And you can get on board enough to understand, like, yeah, I didn't know much better back then. And I know I was doing the best I can, all these things that we remind ourselves in healing, in these healing tools that are offered to us. But sometimes the things that we do and choices we've made or things that have happened and that we've been through are so misaligned with the choices that we make now, in spite of the reasons that we make them now. And it can feel almost impossible to offer ourselves any form of understanding or forgiveness. And so I wonder if this reading is offering to us, maybe as you are sitting in any type of intentional intensity with this Scorpio full moon, potentially inviting the energy of self-forgiveness to join you. Asking your guides, your spirit team, to bring and help promote within you feelings of and the energy of self-forgiveness. Or maybe, again, depending on your unique situation and what this is tying to for you, forgiveness in general. So this is really, whoops, sorry, I just whacked the mic. Although you might not hear that. Jared will probably have edited that out. But so our Spirit Allies card that came through is from the, let's see here, the suit of Goddess Allies. And we are offered the third card in this suit, Cleopatra. And her affirmation is, my feminine energy makes me strong. Cleopatra was known for her cleverness, beauty, and intelligence. She was well educated and is believed to have spoken a dozen different languages. Connections were also made between Cleopatra and the goddess Isis during the time of ancient Egypt. Cleopatra is an embodiment of divine feminine energy and the power that comes with that. There is feminine energy within each of us, and it can be seen in the concept of yin and yang and countless others. The power that lies with divine femininity is graceful, beautiful, nurturing, and compassionate. Cleopatra reminds you to not let others underestimate you or the power of the divine feminine. Practice embodying the goddess within you when you are searching for an extra boost of confidence. And the journal prompt is, how could I have fun exploring my divine feminine energy and inner goddess? And guess what? All of this, all four of these cards coming together brings to me in a big metaphorical image in response to this full moon in Scorpio and everything we've been talking about today. Restoring the heart of Te Fiti in Moana. So number one, if you haven't seen Moana, please do. Get on Disney Plus or ask somebody to borrow their Disney Plus or turn into a dreaded pirate Roberts. But Watch Moana if you haven't seen it. If you have seen Moana, maybe watch it again. I instantly, while I'm reading through this Cleopatra card, I was thinking of Teka, this demon of fire, right? As told in the story of destruction. And what happens when one person is willing to look deep enough within the fire demon, restore the heart, and reveal Earth Goddess Tafiti. So Taurian. So Scorpionic. And really a beautiful summary of how to move through this reading. Maybe look at yourself as the demon of fire. And remember and remind yourself that that might just be this outer shell that we ourselves and so many others have just gotten used to seeing us for, or seeing ourselves as. And maybe be willing to look way deeper than that. And choose love and choose compassion. Reach in. And, the symbol of restoring the heart is reaching out and connecting. That's the metaphor there. And what happens from that? The rebirth and the healing, and therefore the abundance, right? And the fertility that comes from that. This is intense energy. A fixed full moon always is. And again, this one has plenty of emphasis on intense fire and water and just big feeling in general. It might be coming up within you and feeling like impossible for you to even begin thinking you can access, process through, express, accept, surrender to, embrace, any of these things. It might feel absolutely impossible. And creating that space and holding that space, being present in and just sitting with the intensity, that's exactly what Moana does in that part. Oh my God, please go watch it. Even if you need to just go YouTube that one part, honestly. It's such a good metaphor for this. And for this full moon. I love archetypes. This is such a magical Moonday episode. Oh my God. It feels so freaking good to be back with all of you. I do want to take a moment to thank our episode sponsor, of course, Podzilla Productions. This is my husband, Jared's podcast editing and production company. It is why That Witch podcast has always had such nice sounding audio since the very beginning. Jared has been editing, mixing, producing audio for well over 17 years, and he truly is a perfectionist who believes in offering absolute top quality editing services at an actually affordable price for those committed podcast hosts who aren't necessarily making as much from their show as some of those big names out there. So stop wasting hours and your precious time and energy trying to teach yourself how to DIY every editing problem you come across, and let someone faster and more experienced handle it all without having to drop hundreds of dollars per episode, so that you can get back to focusing on growing your podcast. Visit podzillaproductions.com to learn more, or you can reach out to Jared directly at jwright@podzillaproductions.com. You can get all the info in the show notes below. I think that I am going to really punctuate what I was able to channel for you here today by going and doing this myself right now, so that you know that by the time you've listened to this, that your host here, your spiritual bestie, has already done her version or a fraction of this ritual as well. I'm going to hold some space and sit in and be present with intensity. I'm going to let it fully come up and I am going to turn toward that inner demon of fire, and restore the heart. Reach out and connect. Offer love and compassion. This is a really, really, really beautiful way to enter into what is naturally such like a high time of thinking and mental processing that Gemini season naturally will be. And what a beautiful way to kind of unpack some of that before heading into that. I really see a lot of the advice and the message of this full moon energy is utilizing these final weeks, these final days of Taurus season, for transitioning into these more and more intense seasons that, summer really is. This is a high, active, and intense energetic time. It is life-giving to so many of us. And we can access so much more of its potential when we, kind of go into it really mindfully like this by doing this kind of sacred work before we even step into it. So thank you, neighbor, for spending some of your time with me this week and today. I'm so grateful for you and our energy together. And I am sending you all of my love. I'm reaching out, restoring the heart within you, my friend. And I can feel it coming right back at me. Make sure that you're out there, staying safe. And you're letting yourself have lots and lots of fun. And of course, stay magical, my friend. Did you know about my YouTube channel? Head over to That Witch Next Door on YouTube and hit subscribe, and you can watch the podcast live. Well, it's not live, but it is video, and you do get to see me, and it really does kind of feel like we're hanging out. You can also follow me on Instagram at thatwitch.nextdoor, as well as Threads at the same username. I'm also over on TikTok, Facebook, and even Pinterest. Yes, my millennial heart is not apologetic of that at all. You can get all information in the show notes below, and don't forget to be subscribed to my email newsletter, where I exclusively drop the image for any weekly card readings, as well as exclusive discounts, announcements, releases, and more. You can head to thatwitchnextdoor.com to subscribe to my email list. And again, everything that you need is in the show notes below. Thanks again, neighbor, and I'll see you next time.